In China, there is a monster that does not walk. It does not run. IT does not speak. IT jumps. And if it finds you at night, it doesn't just kill you. IT drains the life out of you. This is the legend of the Jiangshi, China's hopping vampire. When people in the West think of vampires, they imagine pale aristocrats, long capes, sharp fangs, and castles in the dark. But in China, the vampire looks very different. IT wears the clothes of a dead official. ITS, body is stiff. ITS, arms are stretched. Forward, its face is pale, sometimes greenish white, and instead of walking, it hops through the night. This creature is called the Jiangshi. The word is often translated as hopping vampire, but that doesn't fully explain what it is. Because a Jiangshi is not just a vampire. IT is a corpse that should have stayed dead but somehow came back. According to Chinese folklore, a Jiangshi hops because its body is too stiff to move like a living person. ITS limbs cannot bend normally. ITS joints are locked by death, so instead of walking, it jumps forward in sudden, unnatural movements. That image alone is already disturbing. A dead body, dressed in old official robes, moving silently through the darkness, jumping toward you, closer and closer, without ever seeming alive. And somehow, that makes it even worse, because it doesn't feel like a monster. IT feels like a body that was never meant to move again. Like many old legends, the story of the Jiangshi probably came from more than one place. Some people believed it came from fear of improper burial. In traditional Chinese culture, the dead were supposed to be buried correctly, with ritual, respect, and order. If a body was abandoned, mistreated, or buried the wrong way, people feared something might go wrong. Other stories say the legend came from corpse transport. Long ago, when someone died far from home, their body sometimes had to be taken back to their hometown for burial. At night, from a distance, a line of corpses being carried through the dark could look deeply unnatural. Over time, fear and imagination may have turned that sight into something much worse. And in folklore, that something worse became the Jiangshi. A Jiangshi is not usually described as a clever creature. It is not seductive. IT does not charm people. IT does not whisper from the shadows. It is cold. Rigid, silent, relentless. In many stories, it hunts the living by sensing human breath or life energy. And once it finds someone, it attacks not like an animal, but like death itself. Sudden, unnatural, unstoppable. That is part of what makes the Jiangshi so frightening. Western vampires often feel romanticized. Even when they are monsters, they are still elegant. The Jiangshi has no elegance. It is just death. Wearing a body. Coming back wrong. Chinese folklore did not just create monsters. IT also created rule. And the rules for dealing with a Jiangshi are some of the strangest in horror history. People believed you could stop it with talismans written in ritual ink. Some stories say you must hold your breath because the creature can sense the living through breathing. Others say mirrors, stikiritse, or certain ritual tools could keep it away. And in later popular culture, the most famous image became this: a yellow paper talisman stuck to the Jiangshi's forehead, freezing it in place. It is one of the most iconic images in Chinese horror, and once you see it, you never forget it. The Jiangsh. I still scares people for one simple reason. IT feels wrong in a very human way. Not because it is huge, not because it is powerful, but because it turns the dead into something unfinished. A body should be still. A corpse should not move. A face without life should not be looking back at you. The Jiangshi breaks all of those rules, and that makes it terrifying. It is not a fantasy of immortality. It is not beauty mixed with danger. It is decay. It is ritual gone wrong. It is the fear that death was not the end, only the beginning of something worse. In the West, the vampire lives forever. In China, the dead do not always rest. And in the dark corners of old folklore, something still jumps through the night. This was the Jiangshi, China's hopping vampire. And this is only the beginning, because China has many more stories like this. Stories of ghosts, cursed places, fox spirits, and things that should never have returned. Welcome to Midnight China. If you want more dark stories from China, subscribe to Midnight China. Ghost stories, haunted places, urban legends, and the darker side of Chinese folklore. See you in the next story.